Hello and welcome to Restoring America, one county at a time. Here at American Vision, we get a steady stream of comments and questions. After our conferences and speeches and articles, whatever, the number one question we always get is this: what can we do? So in response to that, we've begun this new project called Restoring America, one county at a time. This project attempts to provide practical answers to that question in 10 major areas of life. Okay, the steps are not always easy, but if we're truly serious about a free society, this project will help you make a beginning. So in this introduction to the project, I want to discuss briefly its nature and scope. First, this is a practical project. It focuses on things we can do, things that can be done, and done now. In most of these areas, there are things we can do immediately and have an impact. Many people are already doing them and having considerable success. In some of the other areas we'll talk about, the practical steps involve larger social changes, and thus they will be things to file away for a little bit later. But in the meantime, by planning and working, we can put ourselves in a position to serve and to lead when the opportunities arise, and that is essential as well. But the more we can concentrate on things that we must do and things that we can do now to restore a free society, the more we will open up the possibility of the larger changes in the future. In other words, we have to rebuild the foundational matters first in order to have something to build on in the future, something that's lasting and that will last through the rest of society. So I've made an attempt in this project to prioritize the topics according to their practicality for the average individual now. So we'll talk about the 10 topics in a minute. Secondly, this project focuses on localism, not nationalism, not national politics, not even states' rights, although we'll talk about that, and states' rights will play an important role. But patriotism is primarily a love of one's homeland, a love of their roots. It is not the love of the nation state, which was a later perversion of the spirit of patriotism. So focusing on localism, what I'm calling county rights, we can make very practical and meaningful steps towards saving this country from big government tyranny. Now, if we don't have the vision and the integrity and the willingness to sacrifice, to take back our freedoms in our homes, in our neighborhoods, in our towns, in our counties, in the local areas of life, where we can now, then the dream of taking back America is an absolute delusion. So here we will have an emphasis on restoring America, county by county, in your county, one county at a time. And the overall goal is to inspire individuals and cell groups in each of America's 3,000 plus counties to implement the vision that we'll discuss locally. Thirdly, this is a project for people who are serious about freedom. And what I mean to say is that there are very real sacrifices that you'll have to make in your personal lifestyle, especially in the areas of personal finances, in time management, in self-improvement, self-discipline, and family education. It's simply going to take a commitment of time and money and discipline toward a better future. And I'll be very frank, open and honest, and address all of the issues of sacrifices. We'll talk about the stumbling blocks and the psychological hurdles that we'll have to get over to restore America to the freedom it once had. And as part of this, we'll address how we have grown accustomed to living off of government benefits at all levels of government, and what it will mean to live in a world where you personally refuse to accept those benefits, even while they still exist in front of you, ripe for the taking. And eventually a world where those benefits no longer exist as a function of state coercion, period. But if you want to escape the trap of tyranny, you have to have the mentality of the wise mouse who said, "To heck with the cheese, let's get out of the trap." And so this is for serious lovers of freedom only, those who are willing to change their lifestyle, to sacrifice in order to recover their individual and social integrity. Finally, for now, this is a long-term project. I am planning personally in order to have a better life for my children, and I think we all share that goal. But even more importantly, for my grandchildren and their children. You will not take back America overnight, no matter how you go about it. And anyone, especially a politician, who promises that you can do that is just lying to get your vote. But you will never take America back either without starting and implementing lasting changes that we can make now. But it means having a multi-generational vision. Involved in this mentality itself is one of the sacrifices I just talked about, and that is you're probably not going to reap all the benefits of a purely free society for ourselves in our immediate lifetimes. But if we don't work toward that goal, doing the things that we can do now, then our future generations will have to start from scratch in an even more degraded society. So we will focus on a commitment to steady, slow, and yet meaningful progress toward a much larger, longer-term vision of a free society. So this is the nature of our project. It's practical efforts, locally focused, involving personal sacrifice over a long-term vision. Now, we can summarize these 4 things with the following ideas. Number 1, things to be done. Number 2, county by county. Number 3, don't take the cheese. And number 4, think about your grandkids. Okay? These are not only aspects of a truly free society, they're all biblical Christian concepts. And we'll discuss that some in each one of the topics that we cover. So with this vision and a commitment to it, we can begin truly to take back America. This is not only the way to do it, but I believe it is also the only way to do it. So let me tell you a little bit about the structure of the project as I've designed it. I will cover each of the 10 topics in 3 brief video segments each. Okay, whatever the topic is, I will cover first how it was once free, second, how that freedom was lost, and third, practical steps to get it back. So in the end, we should have a total of about 30, maybe 35 videos, maybe more depending on how things go. But from there, we hope to open up web forums and where local groups can discuss, and I will add supplementary informative videos as we see necessary. So with this vision of locally focused practicality in mind, let's briefly introduce the 10 topics. And we'll do that in the next video.